Modern Rock Station is 99 Rock. That is the River City Rebels. They're going to be joining us here in the studio next hour. And talking about their show coming up Saturday night here on 99 Rock. 7:41 right now, 19 minutes in front of 8 o'clock. Well, we talked about this yesterday. We were talking about it a couple of times this morning. A great bunch of girls doing some bicycling through the New Hampshire area, all for a great cause. Now, in the studio right now, we've got three of them, Anne, Morgan, and Olivia. Girls, how are you today?
Great.
Pretty good.
We're feeling good.
It's a little bit early this morning.
Indeed.
All right. So now tell us, first of all, I mean, for people who don't know, didn't read the Valley News yesterday, what are you guys doing?
We are currently 4 women. We had a team of 5. One of our teammates got injured. Okay. Traveling exclusively by bicycle around the state of New Hampshire. We're part of the Better Future Project, and our organization is called Climate Summer. There are 5 teams in all the states of New England, and traveling exclusively by bicycle, and we're working in communities for about a week at a time, working with the local community leaders and anyone else who wants to join us, and we're trying to reduce people's dependency on fossil fuels.
Okay, so that explains why the bicycles.
Exactly.
No motors, no gasoline, no oil, nothing like that, right? So now you said you've been around New Hampshire. Where have you been so far?
Last week, we actually we had to cheat on our no fossil fuels because we were invited to stay out at Star Island off the coast of Portsmouth. Okay. About 10 miles out, and that was a really great week. Made a lot of really cool connections and built some good relationships. And prior to that, we were in Manchester, and before that, we were in Peterborough. But our training started in Wilmot, New Hampshire. Okay. And it was divided between Wilmot and Lowell, Massachusetts. So we've been around.
So how long have you, how long, when did this start? How long have you been doing this now?
Since June 13th is when our training started. And then this is our 4th week, and we'll go until we have 3 more towns after this. Yep. And then after that, we'll all come back together in Arlington, Massachusetts on August 14th, and in 4 days after that.
Okay. Now, my question for you is, you've got people from, you said you're from Florida, you're from Massachusetts, and I mean, Kentucky, all over the place. Why how did you get to New Hampshire?
I heard about the program through a colleague that I worked with last year, and one of her friends had done it. And I worked in a bike shop when I was in college, and that interested me in biking. And so I was most interested in the touring aspect of it. Okay. But I've also always been interested in sustainability throughout my college career. So that's what drew me in. Okay. So now, of course, again, this is going on here again right up through the entire month of July. And I mean, tell us, I mean, about the fossil fuel side of things. You know, maybe people are going, what? What is that? And I mean, trying to curb the dependency on that. Give us a little background about that.
Right. Well, while we were in training, we talked about the New England's movement away from fossil fuels. And currently there are 6 coal-fired power plants still in operation in New England. Vermont has none, and I think Rhode Island, is it that also? Don't quote me on that, but Vermont and another state in New England. I'm from Florida, so I'm still learning the area. So mainly we're focused on this region in New England, but the dependency on fossil fuels, we also use the term deadly energy, and we are very concerned about the health impacts associated with the production and refining of fossil fuels, as well as the impact it is having on our climate. And you asked earlier why I came to New England. Well, we had such a warm winter in Florida, I decided to escape the heat for the summer. And
you really haven't escaped too much, but a little hot
up here. I really haven't
escaped
too much, but a little less brutal.
Now are you meeting people along the way who's saying, we need fossil fuels? I mean, you need it to go. I mean, it's an everyday thing. I mean, I need gas to get to work.
Yeah, yesterday we actually had an interesting encounter with a man who was expressing his concern that it takes fossil fuel to build a bike. And that was upsetting to us because, it obviously takes less fossil fuel to ride a bike than it does to drive a car. Sure. But there are a lot of people who are concerned with fossil fuel in everyday use, driving to work and getting groceries, in basic daily functions, but there are a lot of ways around that we've learned. We ride our bikes to the grocery store, and we have a trailer behind us, and we put them in the trailer, and you get a great workout while you're getting your food. So
Well, there you go. I mean, and I'm not here. Mind you, I'm not here to challenge or anything. But somebody like me, I get up at 3:30 in the morning. I have to drive 40 miles to work. How does somebody like that, try to shed their dependency?
I think there's always going to be a need for transporting yourself at 3:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. But if we can move beyond fossil fuel and go towards an alternative energy source, then that's where we want our future to be. There is a way to manufacture a car that doesn't require fossil fuel. I'm sure that there is technology that will move towards wind and solar power to fuel a car, which is the ideal.
Right. When we say addiction, we say that for a reason because, like you said, it's kind of hard to escape your dependency. When you're 30 miles out, you have to get to work.
Sure.
And part of the problem is the whole system, the whole setup of our infrastructure is dependent on the use of fossil fuels. So when we go back home, obviously we're going to be returning to our cars and our vehicles and our electricity that is run largely by fossil fuels. Now,
of course, says you're the event's going to be tonight at the Howell Library at 7 o'clock. Right. Now, people show up to this event. It's anybody can go, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
And what will they expect to see or hear at this event?
I think we're going to give a short presentation on exactly what it is we're doing, and then we're going to have the program run more of a discussion base.
Okay.
So we haven't decided quite yet, so we'll either divide up into small groups and have discussion that way, or we'll lead an overall discussion with whoever's there, depending on how many people show.
Now, of course, again, this is happening tonight, Howell Library, 7 o'clock, right here in Hanover. And, what's next after tonight, girls? Where do you go from here, or what goes on next?
We're actually volunteering at Cedar Circle Farm tomorrow.
Okay.
And then after that, we will be heading back east towards Portsmouth. We're actually going to be in Durham for the next week. And so we're hoping to have 3 days of travel back to Durham just to kind of take it easy.
Now, how many miles do you think you've covered so far? Are you keeping track of that?
Rough guess, 350.
Really? Wow. And how many more do you think you have to go?
Another 350, if not more.
Really? So, this is a big thing. You guys are, and are you riding every single day?
To some extent. Some of the towns you can walk. Hanover is very walkable.
Sure.
The place we're staying is about 2 miles out of town, so we ride our bikes in, but then we walk around. Manchester, we walked around a lot. Star Island, we were walking the entire time.
Sure.
But places such as Peterborough, we rode pretty much anywhere we were going.
Now, of course, I'm noticing you're wearing a Proudy shirt from just last Saturday. Did you participate? Did you volunteer?
Unfortunately, we weren't here to participate, but we did volunteer for the cleanup.
Okay. Which definitely they needed as well. But again, happening tonight, and it's going to be at the Howell Library at 7 o'clock. Girls, before we wrap it up, the floor is yours. What else you guys want to finish up with?
Just basically, because New Hampshire is unique in that people do live further away than where they work.
Sure.
It's not a big town pretty much anywhere except Manchester, Concord maybe. Just trying to find alternative ways to transport yourself, whether that's carpooling, using public transit if it exists, trying to pull yourself away from that dependency on fossil fuel. It's small things that count, and together all the small things add up to a very big thing.
Okay. And again, not, maybe not 100%, but, cutting it down every little bit helps, right?
Right.
All right. Once again, girls, again, in the studio, Ann, Morgan, and Olivia, we want to thank you for coming up today. I know it was an early morning, and, you found the place, and, hopefully best of luck in the future. What goes on next?
Thank you.
All right, keep in touch and let us know how it goes.
Will do.
All right. Awesome. 7:49 right now here on the Rock and Go Morning Show.